Hello, everyone. Welcome to our poster presentation and debate. My name is Jose Riel, and today I will be the moderator of this activity. Before we begin, I would like to introduce my classmates who will participate as finalists during this presentation and debate. Stephanie Millas, Maria Hill, Michelle Serpa, and Natalie Pacheco. Together, we will present our project entitled Digital Strategy for English Language Learning. Now, I will begin with the introduction of our poster. Introduction. I would like to explain the introduction and the main purpose of our project. This project aims to improve English language learning through digital strategies that enhance student motivation and oral practice. In many virtual classes, students often experience speaking and anxiety, low participation, and lack of confidence when communicating in English. To address this problem, our project integrates digital tools, artificial intelligence, and gamification to create an interactive activity that encourages participation, confidence, and language development. Additionally, the project promotes important communication skills such as pronunciation, fluency, vocabulary, listening comprehension, and critical thinking. Now, I would like to invite my classmate Stephanie Arenilla to explain Activity 1 and Activity 2 poster.
Hello everyone, my name is Stefania Díaz Ospino, and today I'm going to explain how activities 1 and 2 will be carried out. Activity 1, Virtual Role Play. In this activity, we will simulate real-life situations such as streets, interviews, or shopping to strengthen oral English practice. Each student will work in virtual spaces using digital tools like Microsoft Teams and Canva, which we believe will help develop fluency and pronunciation and confidence when communicating in the languages. Activity 2, a student podcast. In this activity, a student will create and record short podcasts in English about personal experience or cultural topics using digital tools like Audacity and Anchor. We aim to improve pronunciation, expand vocabulary, and strengthen communication skills through the creative usage of English. Thank you.
Thank you for your explanation. Now, let's continue with the next section of the poster. I invite my classmates, Maria Hill, to explain Activity 1 and Activity 4.
Hello, my name is Maria, and I was assigned Activity 3 in Activity 4. I will explain them to you now. Activity 3, Interactive Trivia. This activity was set up to review vocabulary and listening comprehension skill by way of gamify quizzes. Students took part in weekly trivia sessions for grammar, vocabulary, and listening on platforms such as Kahoot, Quizzes, and Unlike the Polons and more and leaderboards increase motivation and encourage active participation. The activity permitted the students to learn in a fun and dynamic way while reducing the anxiety anxiety and encouraging the engagement of the learning process. Activity 4. English debates. This activity aims to develop students' friendship and argumentation skills through structured deb- debates on current topics. Students prepare short arguments and share their opinions using tools like Microsoft Teams and Padlet. Debates promote critical thinking, oral interaction, and confidence in speaking English. And additionally, students practice expressing ideas clearly and responding to orders respectfully, improving communication skills. Thank you.
Thank you for your explanation. I would like I would like to invite my classmate Michelle Serpa to explain Activity 5 and the assessment plan.
Peace Regard, my name is Michelle Tatiana. Activity 5, visuality precision is quite simple and practical. What is about? These students must create a visual presentation in slide format using images and keywords and the presence orally in English. What is goal? To strengthen two essential aspects, kill expression in English, the ability to connect what they see with go the project, visualize in the words. This about begins with purpose and using and using the problem the communication. What do the special calculate? And they created this short presentation, not too long, and they incorporate images and I follow words without low text, every letters. The presentation in the English to their classmates. That's what tools do they use? PowerPoint, Canva. Why is this activity relevant? Because as motivates you to strategies, ideas clearly, communicate with more confidence, rely on the explanation, and is centered on the reading. I like make communication more virtuality and understandable in the short is prepared to communicate better in English with visual aids sometimes and just really demand about a real world presentation. Thank you.
Excellent job. Let's continue with my classmate Natalie Pacheco, who will explain the implementation plan and the conclusions.
Thank you very much, classmate. Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Pacheco. Well, after learning about the purpose activities and why they help improve English learning, it is also important to talk about how this project will be developed and what results are expected to be achieved. So, next. I am going to explain the implementation plan and conclusions. The implementation plan is organized by weeks so that each activity can be carried out in an organized and progressive way. During the first week, the role play activity will be developed. In the second week, the student podcast will take place. Then, in the third week, The interactive trivia activity will be carried out. In the 4 weeks, students will participate in the English debate. And finally, in the 5 weeks, the visual presentation will be presented. In addition, each activity will include feedback and review space in order to strengthen learning and improve student participation. In conclusion, this project shows that combining digital tools, interactive activities, and strategies such as gamification can make English learning more dynamic and motivating. Furthermore, these activities not only help students improve skills such as pronunciation, vocabulary, and fluency, but also strengthen their participation and confidence when communicating in English. On the other hand, the use of artificial intelligence and visual research allows the creation of a more modern, creative, and accessible learning environment. Therefore, this project is expected to help reduce anxiety when speaking English and create a more effective and participate learning experience for students. And this will be all about the implementation plan and the conclusion of the project. Thank you very for your attention. And now I would like to hand the floor to my classmate, Jose.
Thank you, classmate Natalie. Finally, I will briefly mention the reference used in our project. Our poster is supported by academic studies related to technology, gamification, artificial intelligence, and English language learning. Some important references include a study by Laura de la Cruz, 2023, Hamati, 2017, and Nawaila, 2020, which explain how digital tools and interactive strategies can improve student motivation, fluency, concentration, and participation in English classes. This reference provides evidence that technology can possibly impact language acquisition and speaking confidence. Thank you everyone for the presentation. Now, I'm going to continue with the guiding question to discuss our project in more detail. Question 1. Our first guiding question is, what was the most valuable experience from your teaching practice? I would like to invite my classmate Estefania Renilla to answer the question.
Okay. Regarding the most valuable experience for my teaching practice in the foreign language education and learning course, it was understanding that learning of foreign languages goes to beyond memorizing grammar rules or vocabulary. So the various activities, especially those related to active learning methodologies, I was able to identify the importance of creating dynamic, participatory spaces that are relevant to the students' realities. Furthermore, this experience allowed me to strengthen skills such as lesson planning, the design of meaningful activities, and the implementation of more creative and inclusive assessment strategies. I also learned that the teacher's role is not only to transmit knowledge, but also motivated guide and build confidence so that the students actively participated in their learning process. In short, I believe the most enriching aspect was recognizing how innovative strategies foster more meaningful learning, improve classrooms communications, and allow students to develop both linguistic competences and social and critical thinking skills. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Now, let's continue with the next guiding question. How do your view of language acquisition evolve during the course? I would like to invite my classmate Maria Hill.
So, my perspective on language acquisition was transformed entirely ra- throughout the course. I lost to see that learning a language was all about memorizing vocabulary and grammar rules. However, from studying stories such as cross crashes input, processes, and by Vygotsky's sociocultural theories, I have learned that language acquisition is affected both by cognitive, social, and emotional facts. I learned that a guy's Motives, motivation, interaction, and meaningful communication are important parts in learning. This core made my really realize that in my position as a flourish teacher, I need to develop are supportive and interactive environment that increases that confidence and participation of students. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. Our next question is question 3. Which activity from the Agora posters inspires you most and why? To answer this question, I would like to give the floor to my classmate Michelle Serpa.
The poster make it tasks are Agora that motivation the most, and the set posters with social and community messages as comedy, creativity, and reflections. I found it is fascinating what this paper cover board using few words and impactful and the images can combine the powerful ideas about cognitive memory of or the kanji's passing dissociated. Furthermore, in this activity gives everyone the opportunity to communicating this perspective on the world and conclusions other reflections as states attention regarding unrelated usage. Poster not only the beauty fit and the environment, the episode informed and created as poster sheets, and that was is considered it every activity and related tasks, especially for the remembered artist's expression exhibit in the game. Thank you.
Thank you for answer, classmate Michelle. Finally, our last question is, what do you take away from the Agora event as a future teacher? And now I would like to give the floor to my classmate Natalie Pacheco to answer our last question. Natalie.
Thank you, classmate. And Agora, I took away several very clear and practical ideas about the kind of teacher I would like. to become in the future. One of the things that caught my attention the most was the importance of creating a safe, relaxed, and supportive environment for students because many presentations emphasize that when students feel confident, they participate more and lose the fear of making mistakes. For that reason, there was a strong focus on the use of music, games, humor, and dynamic activities to reduce anxiety when learning English. I also understood that there is no single perfect teaching method and that teachers need to be flexible and adapt strategies according to the students' needs and the learning context. During the event, we saw different approaches and methodologies from more traditional methods to modern proposals such as content and language integrated learning, flipped classroom, and project-based learning. This made me reflect on the importance of using different tools and keeping the ones that truly work in the classroom. Another aspect that I found very important was the use of digital tools with a real educational purpose. It was not about using technology just because it is popular, but about taking advantage of resources such as ChatGPT, Kahoot, podcast, virtual really, and collaborative platforms to encourage oral practice, creativity, and student participation. In addition, many activities showed that short and frequent dynamics such as role plays, mini podcasts, and interactive games can really help students develop fluency and confidence in English. Finally, sometimes that really made me think was the way evaluation was approached. Since many proposals focus more on progress, participation, and creativity than on absolute perfection. This helped me understand that a teacher not only provides information but also leads, motivates, and creates meaningful learning experience. In conclusion, this Agora helped me reaffirm that I want to become a teacher who combines creativity, empathy, and technology in a conscious way, always prioritizing the well-being and confidence of students throughout their learning process. Thank you very so much.
Thank you for answer, classmate Natalie Teco. To include this project demonstrated that digital tools, artificial intelligence, and gamification can significantly improve English language learning. This strategy helps students increase their motivation, confidence, participation, and oral communication skills. Thank you to my classmates for their participation and thank you all for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.